What if something frozen for nearly 50,000 years suddenly came back to life? That's the question scientists are now asking as melting Siberian permafrost exposes viruses that have been buried since the Ice Age. They've already revived several, and the implications stretch far beyond the Arctic. Could one of these so-called zombie viruses spark a global pandemic? Ancient viruses in the ice. In 2023, a team led by Professor Jean-Michel Claverie at Aix-Marseille University published a study in the journal Viruses that shook the scientific world. His group uncovered 13 viruses in Siberian permafrost, including a 48,500-year-old megavirus. These were not fragments of dead DNA, but functioning viruses that could still infect amoebae. The discoveries followed earlier findings of pithovirus in 2014 and mollyvirus in 2015, which proved frozen viruses could survive and be revived. Claverie stresses that these threats are understudied. Just because only a handful of live viruses have been documented doesn't mean the danger is rare. The truth is, nobody knows how many ancient pathogens might be hiding in the Arctic's frozen ground, and as temperatures rise, more of them will be exposed. Could humans be at risk? So far, the revived viruses have only infected amoebae, but the big unknown is how a modern human immune system would react to something millions of years old. Claverie and his team argue that there's no guarantee our defenses could handle it. This risk grows as the Arctic becomes more accessible. Melting ice is opening new shipping routes and expanding mining opportunities. That means more people disturbing frozen soils, and with that, a higher chance of coming into contact with viruses that haven't been seen in human history. If one of them adapts to infect people, the results could be catastrophic. The long chain of events. Not every scientist sees this as an immediate pandemic threat. Dr. William Schaffner, a professor of infectious diseases at Vanderbilt University School of Medicine, explains that several steps would all need to happen before a zombie virus could spread worldwide. The virus would need to survive revival, then make the jump to a human host, then adapt to spread between people efficiently. Each step is uncertain, and while the risk is real, Schaffner calls it remote. Dr. Jonathan Stoy, a retrovirus expert at the Francis Crick Institute, agrees. He describes zombie viruses as a theoretical risk. In his view, bacteria reawakened in permafrost or climate-driven changes in insect-borne diseases and bird migration patterns pose more immediate dangers. He adds that the viruses already circulating in animals worldwide are a far greater threat than anything thawing in the ice. What viruses are being found? The 2023 study revealed 5 different types of viruses: Pandora virus, Cedrat virus, megavirus, Pacman virus, and a new pithovirus strain. Many of these infect microorganisms rather than humans, but history shows that human pathogens can survive in frozen conditions. Smallpox and influenza signatures have both been found in permafrost samples. Stoy points out that while few infectious viruses have been directly isolated, that's partly because RNA viruses, such as influenza, are less stable than DNA viruses. Even so, the infamous 1918 influenza virus was recovered from people buried in permafrost, proving that survival is possible. How ready are we? If a permafrost virus made the leap to humans, how would the world respond? The COVID-19 pandemic showed both the dangers of rapid spread and the speed at which science can react. Schaffner highlights that global health systems are far better prepared today than they were even 20 years ago. A real threat or a remote possibility? The phrase zombie virus makes headlines because it sounds like a horror story, but the truth lies somewhere in between. Ancient viruses do exist in permafrost, and some of them can still infect organisms after tens of thousands of years. Scientists like Claverie believe the danger to humans should not be ignored, while experts like Stoy see it as less urgent than other emerging threats. Either way, the issue highlights how climate change is not only an environmental crisis, but also a public health one. Melting ice is exposing us to biological risks that humanity has never faced before. Would you survive a world where a virus from the Ice Age spread across modern society? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And remember, the next global health crisis may not come from where we expect it,